Hello everyone, welcome to my next video. This one's going to be about your patent drawing. It's a very important part and it's going to take about 30% of your overall time for the entire patent making procedure. So what you're going to want to do is do a few drawings. I'd recommend 8 to 10, not too many and not too less, because either would disturb the clarity of your invention. So to start off right off the bat, if your patent is related to other physical components, your drawing could be something like this. This is an old patent diagram, and basically you don't want to follow exactly what this shows because it's basically showing a bunch of drawings on the same page with individual components numbered with letters rather than actual numbers, and you don't really want to do this part. So this is very old style. Try to follow the actual ones I show later. So as you can see, the patent drawings are very clean and precise. So while you can do your rough sketch by hand, I wouldn't recommend, you should not do your final draft with hand. You should use software to make a better looking and more cleanly disposed drawing. So for mechanical drawings, there are many tools available on the internet. For example, you could use Google Drawings, which is not as good, but there are lots of other very well-made products you can use. So as a first step, I would recommend you try to tell your invention as a story through a series of drawings. For mechanical drawings, make sure you draw different views for your invention. You do not need to draw existing components. Basically, just emphasize on the parts that you were inventing or newer parts. You don't need to provide any exact measurements because you want to make sure that you're just giving a rough idea of what it is. But a very clear idea, but you don't want to make it too precise because then someone could tweak your invention and end up making a new invention with just a few tweaked parts, and that'd be really annoying to deal with. So to protect it, I would recommend you don't use exact measurements of your product. So review your drawing story and combine the relevant drawings and break up the complex drawings as multiple simpler drawings. So you're going to take your original rough draft that you did by hand and you're going to break it apart into smaller pieces, and you're going to go more in depth on each of these pieces. So as a second step, you're going to redraw and your finalized drawings using software tools. Basically, like I said earlier, you're going to use online tools to redraw your project. And you're going to keep each of the drawings on a separate page, and you're going to label each drawing as a figure 1, 2, 3, and so on. This is a very important part because when you're referencing it in the description, you're going to want to say the page number at times and also the number of what part of the drawing you're referring to. For starters, for figure 1, start the numerical reference from 100 for figure 2. For figure 2, you're going to start from the reference of 200, and for figure 3, it's reference of 300, so on. Basically, later when you're writing a description, you're going to be saying, oh, referencing to part 210 of so-and-so, this is how it would work. Basically, you're using these numbers as a reference. Let me show you another example. So if you see this on the database module, it's 140 is referring the same as 140 in both figure 1 and 2. So when you review the numeral multiple times to make sure you don't want to make sure that you have two of the same numbers in two different figures, because that would end up confusing the person, and that could be a very grave mistake. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure you want to double check all the numbers throughout the entire thing to make sure that all the numbers are separate and not the same, because if they're the same, you could end up messing up pretty badly. So this is when you're done with all the drawings. When you're about to submit them, you want to make sure they are in PDF form, as USPTO likes PDFs and they will not accept it if it's not in a PDF. And make sure that all your drawings are numbered and there is not more than one drawing per page. And make sure the drawings are all labeled properly too. Once you're done with the drawings, congratulations, you've crossed the huge line in overall, because the drawing part is a very important and very tough part of making an invention. So you should spend a lot of time. Don't rush the process. Try to make sure you double check it, triple check it, check it as many times as you can to make sure you're right. And once you're done with this part, you've basically gotten over a huge roadblock to patenting your invention. So congratulations. I'll see you guys in the next video.